Well, hello, everyone. It's been a while since I've done a live streaming session. And I was talking to Paul DeVries from Holland. He's like, Brian, what's going on with your content? What's going on with your content? I haven't seen you live streaming. Well, obviously, there's been a lot of reasons why, and I'll talk about them today. But if you're watching live, why don't you say hello? We are live streaming on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. So if you found this session of Lunch and Learn helpful, then please share it with your colleagues. The recordings will be online for a little while. I am in Carrie's parents' house in New Jersey. We came up here about a week or so ago. Paul DeVries, the person who encouraged me to do live stream, is there. Gregory, Merry Christmas. So we came up. So after November, we had, the AAA EST Summit, and that was a great success. But Carrie and I contracted COVID right around that time. And so it really took us 2 to 3 weeks to kind of get our mojo back. Thankfully, we fully recovered. We have antibodies and we're happy. And then as soon as we were able to, we came up to New Jersey, spend a little time with Carrie's parents and friends for the holidays. So it's been a little busy. I don't have my typical studio setting, but there's so much going on that I wanted to share with you. So without further ado, please make sure you do say hello. I see there's a number of people joining the live stream, but I want to share a deck. So let me bring up a PowerPoint deck because the Lunch and Learn deck is going to be good. So let's go to this mode for a minute. I am going to share a screen and I'm going to share the Lunch and Learn deck. Right. And let me start that slideshow. Boom. Okay. Now, I'm assuming that everyone can see the Lunch and Learn slide deck. That's what I hope. And let me just move to full screen. Can everyone see that deck, by the way? Oh, good morning, Brian. Good morning, Deb. I just want to make sure that everyone can see the deck. Can everyone see that deck? That's important. I just want to make sure that technology is working well and that we can go from there. Okay, great. So I'm just going to focus on this deck for a minute and allow things to really kick off. First of all, what am I grateful for? Man, it's been an amazing year. I don't know about you, but the March, April timeframe was very scary for our company. We have 2 annual conferences that we weren't sure whether we were going to be able to host them. And they ended up being virtual and a success. So that was amazing. We had a number of clients pause or cancel services in March and April. And of course, that was completely unexpected. Yet we finished the year as one of our best years ever. And I attribute that to the education that Glenn and I continually put out throughout the year. So I'm grateful for a great partner and brother. And I'm grateful for the people who gave our agency a chance early on in our early days, who allowed us to speak at conferences: Jim Ziegler, Ralph Palya, Jeff Kirshner, and Alex Schneider on Dealer Refresh. Man, there was a lot of people who allowed us to get out and speak, including NADA, Mike Roscoe at Digital Dealer. So as I look back at the end of this year, we had a real amazing comeback, and I wanted to share a little bit of that thanks, and then also share some ideas on how to get better. I'm also super excited that we have decided, instead of doing April DMSC, we are going to go live in July. And originally I shared with everyone that April was going to be end of April. But here's what I found out. As we started to talk to our sponsors, many corporate travel budgets are frozen until Q3. And so even though the vaccines are being pushed out, it is clear to me that to get the maximum number of dealers out and the most safe, a live conference. We're going to push it to July. And the good thing about that is that we're going to live stream as well. All the main keynote sessions and panels, the workshops on the live stream will be pre-recorded, so our guests don't have to do them twice. So if you can travel, I encourage you to come out to the Napa Valley and register early, because this year will absolutely sell out. There's so many people who want to travel. Does anybody want to travel? Why don't you put that in the comments? Are you interested in getting out to Napa? One of the things I wanted to share with everyone today is this idea of a service that I provide dealer groups and individual dealerships, is assessing their digital strategy, assessing their marketing investments, assessing their sales process. And Glenn and I really tag team on this. Glenn really works on the digital retailing and CRM process. I work on analytics and campaign effectiveness. And I just wanted to share with you some observations, because I think we're going backwards as an industry. I don't know about you, but are we going backwards as an industry? I really feel that is what's happening. And what do I mean by that? It is happening. Because this year will absolutely sell out. There's so many people about you, but are we going backwards? At my live stream. There we go. So I'm thinking that we've kind of lost our minds with what we're putting on our websites today and not even thinking about the consequences. I also wanted to share that if you've been a follower of the industry, there has been a number of acquisitions going on. Lithia, Asbury, AutoNation, and others, Morgan Auto Group. We're on a buying spree. Their stock, those are the public companies that I'm talking about now, has pretty much doubled since the pandemic. And they're using that currency to acquire dealers. And here's what's happening. They're applying data-driven marketing strategies. It's the story they're telling to investors, and they're really eking out some additional profits and effectiveness. And I just want to encourage everyone that you really need to have a data-driven marketing strategy for 2021. And we're excited in January that we're announcing a new ad tech marketing platform that we will be offering our clients, that really automates a data-driven marketing strategy. So I'm really excited that we'll be able to offer really best-in-class data-driven marketing and advertising across Google, Bing, and Amazon network in a turnkey fashion. But when it all comes down to it, dealers and dealer groups hire me to do audits along with Glenn, or we call them assessments, because they really are formulating a plan. They are executing that plan, but here's the problem. They have a hard time understanding what to measure. Can anybody identify with that you don't know what to measure to see how your digital retailing is working, or your Facebook, or your Google? One of the things to keep in mind, and this is a general structure, and it's a reminder, that whatever marketing automation you're using, I mentioned that PCG Digital will be announcing their new state-of-the-art platform in January, but there are different companies offering marketing automation. So whether it's dealer.com or Synchro, or whether it's Team Velocity, they have a platform that automates bidding, say in the Google world, and they set up campaigns with keywords and negative keywords and different type of graphics to target shoppers, and they drive them to the website. And here's the piece that I can't believe in 2020 and now going into 2021, we're still having a problem with, is that we're not sending back to the bidding engines the outcomes of our marketing, meaning the phone calls, the chats, the texts, the DR leads, the trade-in leads, the finance application leads. And I want to show you two examples, and then we'll go live in the time that we have. We're going to do a hard stop at noon East Coast time I can't believe how sloppy we've gotten, especially with digital retailing. Dealers are throwing so many tools on their website in the guise of digital retailing, and none of their marketing agencies are picking up that the attribution and conversion channels are broken. So I spent a lot of time looking at Google Analytics. I don't know, do you like Google Analytics? It's not perfect, but here's what I tell dealers. 9 out of 10 dealers that I look at their Google Analytics, they have severe data gaps. 9 out of 10. So don't assume that everything is perfect at your dealership. Really want to encourage you to go back and inspect. So let's just use this high level graphic for a conversation. We invest in marketing to create demand generation. We drive people to our website, whether we have digital retailing or not. The merchandising on our website really impacts on how consumers behave. And we want to know how they behave. And we track things like phone calls and lead forms and chats and texts and trade appraisals and finance application. We call that conversion tracking. And digital retailing now plays a role into this. But I think we're going backwards. More and more dealers who have digital retailing installed are not tracking any of the outcomes in Google Analytics. And of course, all of these tools should drive more consumers into your sales process, whether it's remote or in store. And obviously, still a majority of the sales are happening in the showroom. But what am I seeing? Well, I'm still seeing that people are more willing to chase than to serve. It's almost like our business has saying to consumers, yeah, it's a pandemic. Yeah, maybe we have by appointment only hours, but if you go to our website, no one's there to help you. And so we have these thankless jobs called BDC agents that turn over every few months. And we give them tasks to chase people that were on our website that had a question, but we absolutely said, we're not going to help you. Now, the only way we're going to help you is if you come in, but if you don't want to come in, we're not going to help you when you want, we're going to chase you. And so I want to talk about merchandising, and I just picked 2 dealers. I anonymized them on purpose, and I want to just scratch my head with you, and maybe this will generate some great dialogue. And I'll get to your questions and comments in a minute. Here's a dealer. I anonymized things, and they have a chat service on the VDP. This is a vehicle detail page. They have a build and price. They have an I'm interested, and then 4 other buttons. Now, remember, I teach that your primary call to action should be a color violator. It really should be first as well. And so the green is a color violator. Nissan websites are typically red. So other than the green button being in position number 2, I would rather see it in position number 1. But what is here is a huge conversion leak. It's a conversion leak. Why? After I talked to the dealer last week, looks like they added a new button, which I love, which is to serve the consumer when they're on the website right then and there instead of chasing them. We'll get back to that later. But this build in price took the consumer off the dealer's website to a third-party digital retailing tool that was not brand consistent, wasn't brand compliant, and tell you the truth, looked very rinky-dink. Then the primary call to action, the CTA in green, I'm interested, pops up a traditional Dealer Inspire form. And whether it's a dealer.com form or a CDK Synchro form or a Dealer Inspire form, these forms are boring and not very useful to a consumer because it says, I'm interested. Okay, notice it says, I'm interested. Let's see what happens when we click it. And then there were 4 other buttons: get financing, what my trade's worth, can I trust this dealership, which is an interesting button. I haven't seen too many of those, and request a test drive. All of those buttons were populated from a software called AutoVerify. So let's talk about this page. There's a Dealer Inspire website that has its own lead forms. We have a chat platform. Dealer Inspire has a chat platform called Conversations, and it's very sophisticated. But this dealer is using a third party. Dealer Inspire has a digital retailing tool, Online Shopper, 2 different versions. But the dealer chose to use the third party and take the consumer off the website. And then Conversations, their Dealer Inspire's chat tool, can automatically, through a conversation, help get a trade using trade pending, can schedule a test drive, can even help push a credit financing. But no, here is the other party. Now, the sad thing about this is very common. I'm not picking on this dealer. It's I've anonymized them, but I can give you 100 examples of that this is going on. So how many conversion channels does the dealer have and should be recording in Google Analytics? Desktop phone calls, mobile phone calls, Dealer Inspire forms, AutoVance, My Deal, digital retailing forms, AutoVerify forms, and Rapid RTC chat text. For this dealer, 5, the ones in red, were missing. Now, here's the thing that I scratch my head about. How could an agency run a proper Google Ads campaign if the goals weren't set up and those goals weren't being imported? You see, what happens is the agency says, well, the dealer didn't tell me they have digital retailing. The dealer didn't tell me they have AutoVerify. The dealer didn't tell me they changed or had chat. So the only thing that this dealer's SEM budget is being optimized on is Dealer Inspire lead forms. And I see this over and over again, that dealers are throwing all these tools on websites and not even checking if the company would throw a conversion event for tracking into GA. This is the amazing, beautifully designed, awesome form. When someone says, I'm interested, it basically says, no one's here to help you. Even though during business hours, there's people standing around that would like to talk to someone who's interested in buying a Rogue, and basically says someone will get back to you at some later time. That's the chase. So how many people click on I'm interested? Well, I just took the highest quality traffic channel, which is typically organic traffic, and I did the last 6 weeks, I did about 6 or 7 weeks. November 1st to December 20th. And there were 81 unique people, 81 people in that 7-week period from organic, which is typically your highest quality traffic, clicked on the button. And then that form popped up. How many people filled out the form? Well, like most website platforms, Dealer Inspire has a thank you page. And that thank you page happens to be thank you for submitting your pricing request. Okay. So 26 people filled out the form. Now, 81 people said they were interested, but since the dealer wasn't set up to help people, they felt it's better to chase them instead of serving them. Notice only 32% of the people who had a question or wanted to talk to someone about this car filled out the form. That in itself is actually in line with the national average. You've heard me say less than 40% of people fill out a typical get, eat, price, or I'm interested form. The sad piece of this is that since they didn't require a phone number and since they required email, this dealer would be lucky if they got in touch with, say, 16 of these people. So think about that. Only 20% of the people who came to the website based on marketing, who said, I'm interested, you were able to talk to because of your website design. Now, what was interesting, and I never saw AutoVerify before, but AutoVerify, I went in using Google Analytics real time and created an AutoVerify lead. And guess what? In real time, they threw an event. And the event is lead created. Now, I was doing a trade-in, and the software did throw an event. Here's a perfect example. The agency has no excuse. If 4 of the 7 CTA buttons are AutoVerify, They should be going in and saying, does this vendor throw events? Well, the answer, they do. But was a goal created for auto-verify lead forms? No. Who's responsible? Well, ultimately, I would say it's the dealer. Secondary, the agency that's spending their Google money, who knows that if you don't import goals, the bidding can't get smarter. Now, here's another dealer. This is a Honda dealer. I call this kind of a mess. Take a look at, this is just one VDP. Notice also the VDP said click get e-price, and there's no button that says get e-price. So this is another one of these things about hard coding CTAs. People have to pay attention. Now their first button, well, first of all, notice there's no clear CTA. All the buttons are blue. So whatever the primary CTA should be, it should be a color violator. It should be green in this, say, see payment options. And that was smart. It went to Roadster. But if you wanted to value your trade, there was the value trade button, which was so sad because right underneath the ask and drive, is it repeated? Why would you repeat it? Oh, maybe there was white space. Brian, our dealer doesn't like white space. Okay, get over yourself, simplify. Now they have two dealer.com standard forms. Those are those ugly pop-up forms, just like the dealer.com forms, just like the Dealer Inspire or any other website, stupid contact forms. Notice this was to schedule a test drive or ask a question. Why do these buttons go to forms? Why don't they go to interactive chat? If somebody is like, ask a question, okay, they expect an answer. Or if somebody says, I want to schedule a test drive, there's no bad time for a test drive. But take a look. The buy from home is an interesting one because, okay, maybe that could have been right under the payment options, but it goes to Roadster, which is fine. But then take a look at this. On this page, we basically have three credit applications. Roadster has a credit application, Capital One has a credit application, and TransUnion effectively is doing a credit pull. And then add to that AutoLeadStar that's claiming an offer for $319 a month, which is not validated anywhere on this VDP. Is any of this being tracked? Does TransUnion throw events for conversion? No. Does Capital One throw events for conversion? No. Does AutoLeadStar throw events? Yes. Did the dealer have them configured as goals? No. Does Roadster throw events? Yes. A very detailed list of events. Did the dealer have granular Roadster goals? No. Did they have a roll-up Roadster goal? Yes. So AutoLeadStar, when you go in and look at the event category AutoLeadStar, look at this data: trade-in, service, e-price, offer assistant, OEM offers, test drive plus, and you can take a look at the event actions, conversions, web forms, or click to call. Meaning AutoLeadStar is doing its job to give dealers the ability to see how people interact with their tool. But again, the ad agency didn't even look at the dealer's website, didn't even see how prominent AutoLeadStar was, didn't even look in GA to create the goals. This is just crazy. Here's one last example. Again, Roadster, great. Capital One, no conversion tracking. DDC form was tracked. Roadster was tracked, but they were sending people to a landing page which had really no connection back to Roadster. And then they had another banner that was going nowhere, which it says start shopping, but you click on it all day long and it's not going anywhere. And when you wanted, here's the thing, if you wanted to see payment options, that's what you got. How disappointing is that? Again, less than 40% of consumers fill out this form. And you talk to about half of those. Why? When a consumer's on your website, they want to see payment options. They're expecting to see payment options, and you showed them a form. So in this particular case, you said, I would rather not help them when they're on our website, and I'm going to get my BDC to chase them. And these are the little Post-it notes that are all around your BDC as people get one rejection after another, meaning they're sending out emails, no one's responding. They're getting voicemails. People are hanging up on them. So the question is, why wouldn't that button, explore pricing, explore payments, why wouldn't it go right to a conversation? Hi, this is Samantha, sales associate at the dealership. I'm a real person. Who am I speaking with? And get their contact information and discuss payments. I did a short lunch and learn the other day on configuring Google Analytics for Roadster. And a number of people were on the lunch and learn, but there were 2 Roadster dealers. And both of them had no conversion goals set up properly for Roadster. I was able to set them up in 1 minute, meaning I installed all 13 conversion goals for Roadster in 1 minute. Why? Because Roadster has done probably one of the best jobs of doing detailed analytics. CarNow and Gubagoo have done an excellent job in analytics. So I'm working on a new research report to summarize how to set up Google Analytics for all the major DR platforms. But I want to give hats off to Roadster on how detailed their events were. I also was thinking a little bit about reporting, and let me just stop sharing for a minute there and kind of go to some of the questions based on what I just showed you. Do you understand what problems we're having? Do you understand that we're just throwing tools on our websites and no one is telling dealers they're losing conversion visibility? I mean, whose responsibility is it? Is it the responsibility of the digital retailing tool to call the dealer and say, who's your agency? And let me educate them on how to set up goals? I'm going through dozens and dozens of dealership audits, and one after the other, the dealer principals or chief operating officer is scratching their head and saying, Brian, how come no one is showing us that we need to simplify our website? How come no one is showing us that we have conversion leaks? How come no one is showing us that we can't improve especially our Google ad spend unless we're importing all these conversion goals back into the bidding engine? Give me some comments. Give me some feedback. Do you see the problem? I mean, we can all point fingers at each other, but if I'm the dealer, they're the one who's spending money on marketing, and no one's helping them realize that more isn't better for buttons. Having 5 or 6 different conversion tools on their website isn't better. And if you need or feel you need that, are they talking to each other? Can the chat platform see what page the consumer is on? Can the chat platform answer simple questions like, do you have a blue Hyundai, Santa Fe in stock? So, I don't know what your thoughts are, but doing an end of year or beginning of the year assessment of how your websites are set up, how your marketing investments are being optimized, I think is absolutely critical. Brian made a comment, every company involved is responsible, mainly the dealership, it's their store. I know, and here we are in 2021, right around the corner, 2021. And it seemed like a few years ago, before digital retailing, that I did a good job of getting the website companies and dealers to make sure their conversion goals were working. I see Ian from Edmunds is here, and I even spent time with Ian and the Edmunds team just to make sure that their card code software and all their wonderful tools were throwing events. And it's so great to see Edmunds doing a great job. Edmunds throws events for conversion. So if you have Edmunds Ad Solutions, if you have car code They have conversion goals when they send leads into your CRM. But you know what? A lot of agencies don't set up those goals. John Gottschalk, how you doing, John? The dealer needs to take accountability and hold the vendors accountable, inspect what you inspect. And you know what? I've been doing some big audits for larger dealer groups. And you know what they're saying, Brian? They feel like marketing is changing so quickly and they don't really have a handle on what they should be looking at anymore. And that's where our assessment process, comes in very, very strong. I will tell you this, that I'm working on this research report. So I've asked Gubagoo and CarNow and Dealer.com and Roadster and Modal, and I can keep on going. Everyone who's popping tools on dealers' websites to send me a list of their events that they throw. I will validate that list by looking at an actual dealer's GA accounts. And then I'm going to write a report that shows the degree that each platform supports visibility into their conversion funnel and eventually into the leads that they send to the CRM. Kyle says, this is a big one here. Okay, let's see it. Conversion goals are crucial. I was just reevaluating our SRP. I think what we desire is a clean-cut process, but haven't done our research to assess, although it's slightly spelt wrong, what customers actually want. I hear what you say. Our consumers want to chat. A good subset does. The reality is only start converting to 2%. Okay, so let me say, not everyone wants the chat. That's why I want to show you a pretty cool implementation that Wilsonville Subaru did. And would you please do not bombard their BDC? Please. Let me share the screen application window. Let's see which Chrome tab. Here we go. Wilsonville Subaru. Let me share this. And let me share in a mode that shows both of us so I can see your comments. Okay. Let's go to Wilsonville Subaru. Let's go to a new car. Let's look at an Ascent. And let's just look at this red Ascent. Now, they've done a great thing, and I want to go back to Kyle's question. See, Kyle, they realize not everyone wants to chat right now. Maybe they're at work or something. So they basically give two ways to serve a customer. And so they say, hey, you want the instant noble price? I'll give it to you right now via chat. Or if you'd rather have email, use email. I think this is very smart. And when they implemented this, they used to only have one button that said get no bull price, and it popped up a form. So when they implemented two buttons, the form leads didn't go down, which I thought, Kyle, was brilliant because, well, the people who clicked on that button knew they were going to have to fill out a form via email. The surprise to the general manager was how many people wanted the chat. So they effectively doubled the number of sales opportunities or conversations per month. And I think that's super important for dealers to listen to me. Do you want to chase or serve? Do you want to simplify your website? Why have two different trade-in tools on your VDP? Why have three different finance applications on your VDP? If you're committed to digital retailing, why not commit to digital retailing? You know what I mean? Like, are you all in? John said, I think it's important to be laser focused on what medias and platforms you're leveraging. You can't be in everything. That's right. And you know what? Here's one other thing I tell dealers. Don't look for the best of breed solutions in everything, because what you're most likely going to have is 4 or 5 products that don't talk to each other. For the Nissan dealer, and I'm in the process of talking with them, is that they're on a Dealer Inspire platform that has integrated chat, which has integrated digital retailing. Why have all those other tools? Because Dealer Inspire has goals set up for every one of those action points. So maybe our desire, and maybe John hits it on the head, is that our desire to find the best of everything and not asking, well, do you talk to anybody? Do you talk to Google Analytics? What I just saw and what I tried to share with you is dealers are putting 5 or 6 different conversion channels on their website. And it seems that they're tracking less than ever. And we're going backwards. We're not getting better. We're actually losing marketing optimization, and that's extremely costly in today's world. So if you like the idea of 2 call to action buttons, man, that's super cool. And then the show the payment options uses their digital retailing platform, which is the Dealer Inspire Conversations. Now, let me mention, so let me see, Kyle said someone needs to talk to Xtime. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so Xtime does throw events, but they can't be connected to a campaign. So that is a problem, meaning since it's still an iframe tool, they can record at a date, time, when an appointment was made and when an appointment was canceled. I'm hoping, and I sent an email over to the dealer.com Xtime team to see if in the dealer.com websites they can make it native, so it's no longer in an iframe format, and we can have events associated with marketing campaigns. Because obviously most service campaigns, I just want to make a comment though about service campaigns. Kyle is mentioning anytime you iframe a form like a Citibank form or a dealer track credit form, right? If they're iframed, we lose the conversion optimization and we lose the outcome of a marketing click. That being said, the smarter dealer groups, the smarter organizations who really want a data-driven strategy have to fix that. That's one of the reasons why the Apollo website by Team Velocity is so interesting, is that they built the entire website almost like an Amazon experience. So once you fill out a form, you go back any other time, they know who you are. If you're an existing customer, they know who you are. And so the need for all these iframes is significantly reduced, and since most dealer websites are HTTPS, these iframes are really an outdated structure. But let me make a clear point, is that we have been frustrated as an industry to get the ROI of service campaigns or finance campaigns because of iframes. And I just want you to know that with Facebook attribution, at the end of the month, you can load up a file which gets hashed and then thrown out of all the service and sales transactions in your dealership for that month. And Facebook will match them against the people that they know, right? Facebook knows who we are. They know our phone number, and they know our address, and they know our email addresses. Anyone who saw your ad, clicked on your ad, watched a video. So the team at PCG Digital has been an early pioneer with Facebook and Bob Lanham on Facebook attribution. This has been a eye-opening opportunity to see how online marketing does affect service campaigns. Not many dealers have specific campaigns to get people to fill out a finance app. So it's definitely more on the service side. But today's Lunch and Learn, I want to reiterate just a few points. Number one, you have to have data-driven strategies for 2021. You have to start getting serious on tracking what's going on the website. You need to do an audit. Are all the tools on your website throwing events that can be monitored and turned into goals if they're important to the business? Is your agency then importing all those goals into the Google and Facebook bidding engines to know and track outcomes so they can get smarter? Is your website too cluttered? Have you really looked at it from a consumer experience? This is super important, that we Really embrace a more simplified experience. And are you willing to serve, or you still want to chase? You know that the BDC is a thankless job. You know turnover is horrible. Here's what you find out. When you pick I'm interested and move it to a conversation and round robin with your sales team, they fight for those leads. Let me say that again. No one likes working in the BDC. They don't. Maybe a service BDC, inbound, okay. But calling people who don't want to be called and emailing people who don't answer is a thankless job. When you move your CTAs from forms to conversations, interactive communication, you could do that with Gabagoo. You could do it with Live Person. You could do it with Car Now. You could do it with Dealer Inspire Conversations. I can go on, but the point is active engage. When you do that and you round robin those people to your sales floor, people who are open fight for those leads. Why? Because they find out that you have an opportunity to make a wow first impression instead of popping up that stupid form, telling the consumer no one's here to help, when there's people standing around the dealership or now sitting in their home doing remote sales support who could answer their question right then and there and get their contact information and have a conversation and help them with digital retailing. Today is a reminder that, a sobering reminder, we have gone backwards. Most of our websites are broken. As well as Roadster has done in implementing events for their platform, many dealers haven't set up goals. That goes the same for Gabagoo and others, that we can have events firing. You saw AutoLeadStar. The dealer had AutoLeadStar. AutoLeadStar was doing its part. The dealer or their agency or their website provider or whoever just was asleep at the wheel. We need to increase sales conversations. We can do that by simplifying our websites, moving more people through our digital retailing tool, and eliminate as many pop-up forms during normal business hours as possible, and give people a choice. Hey, would you like to talk to someone right now, or would you like us to email you, just like Wilsonville Subaru did? Well, listen, that's today's Lunch and Learn. It's 12 o'clock. I'm so happy that Carrie and I have been through COVID. People continually are losing loved ones. My good friend John Purdy from CDK lost his mom just this past week to COVID. We had a gentleman from Live Person during AAS lose his father. There's been a number of people in the auto industry who have lost loved ones. It's a serious issue. So as we look forward to the vaccine, as we look forward to getting back to normal, let's just pray for protection over our families, pray for protection in our country, and pray that we can accelerate the vaccine development. J&J coming out in January is going to be a big help. And then I hope to see everyone in July in the Napa Valley at the DMSC conference. If there's anyone on this call who works at a dealership, watching this live or later, who would like to talk about the process of doing an assessment on your digital marketing, on your Google Analytics, on your website, you could reach out to me or Glenn, and we'll be happy to go over how that works, how much time it takes, and the costs associated with that. So everyone, have a blessed Christmas, happy holiday, and a healthy new year. 2021 started out great and then looked like it was going to be horrible. But through God's provision and grace, we finished a year strong. And I hope that's the same for you. And I just pray that we have some great opportunities for a year ahead. So enjoy the last few days of 2020. And I'm here, and the team at PC Digital is here to help you and your dealer group in 2021. Have a great day.